God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we are ready for Lesson 275 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students from the original edition here on October the 2nd of 2022. God's healing voice protects all things today. Let us today attend the voice of God, which speaks an ancient lesson, no more true today than any other day. Yet has this day been chosen as the time when we will seek and hear and learn and understand. Join me in hearing, for the voice of God tells us of things we cannot understand alone, nor learn apart. It is in this that all things are protected, and in this the healing of the voice of God is found. And the prayer, God's healing voice protects all things today. Your healing voice protects all things today. And so I leave all things to you. I need be anxious over nothing. For your voice will tell me what to do and where to go, to whom to speak, and what to say to him, what thoughts to think, what words to give the world. The safety that I bring is given me. Father, your voice protects all things through me. God's healing voice protects all things today. We'll come back and read that again before we leave. But let's go take a look in our text reading for the day. And we're in chapter 27, The Body and the Dream. We're in section 3, I may have said 2 yesterday, the fear of healing. And in the fear of healing, let's start in paragraph 16. Forgiveness is not real unless it brings a healing to your brother and yourself. You must attest his sins had no effect on you, to demonstrate they were not real. How else could he be guiltless? And how could his innocence be justified unless his sins have no effect to warrant guilt? Sins are beyond forgiveness just because they would entail effects which cannot be undone and overlooked entirely. In their undoing lies the proof that they were merely errors. In their undoing lies the proof that they were merely errors and not sins. Let yourself be healed that you may be forgiving. Let yourself be healed that you may be forgiving, offering salvation to your brother and yourself. A broken body shows the mind has not been healed. A broken body shows the mind has not been healed. A miracle of healing proves that separation is without effect. What you would prove to him, you will believe. The power of witness comes from your belief, and everything you say or do or think but testifies to what you teach to him. 17. That last sentence again before we go on to the next paragraph. Everything you say or do or think but testifies to what you teach to him. Your body can be means to teach that it has never suffered pain because of him. The body can be means to teach that it has never suffered pain because of him. And in its healing can it offer him mute testimony of his innocence. It is this testimony which can speak with power greater than 1,000 tongues. For here is his forgiveness proved to him. A miracle can offer nothing less to him than it has given unto you. So does your healing show your mind is healed and has forgiven what he did not do. And so he and so is he convinced his innocence was never lost and healed along with you. 18. Thus does the miracle undo all things the world attests can never be undone, and hopelessness and death must disappear before the ancient clarion call of life. This call has power far beyond the weak and miserable cry of death and guilt, the ancient calling of the Father to his Son, and of the Son unto his own, will yet be the last trumpet that the world will ever hear. Brother, there is no death. And this you learn when you but wish to show your brother that you had no hurt of him. He thinks your blood is on his hands, and so he stands condemned. Yet it is given you to show him by your healing that his guilt is but the fabric of a senseless dream. 19. How just are miracles! For they bestow an equal gift of full deliverance from guilt upon your brother and yourself. Your healing saves him pain as well as you, and you are healed because you wished him well. This is the law the miracle obeys, that healing sees no specialness at all. It does not come from pity, but from love. And love would prove all suffering is but a vain imagining, a foolish wish with no effects. Your health is a result of your desire to see your brother with no blood upon his hands, nor guilt upon his heart, made heavy with the proof of sin. And what you wish is given you to see. Wow, the whole world is a representation of your wish. You want the world to change? Well, then change the way you think inside, and everything outside will change of itself without any effort. Number 20, paragraph 20. I think this will be the last paragraph we'll read today. The cost of your serenity is this. Oh, excuse me. No. The cost of your serenity is his. This is the, in quotes, price. This is the price the Holy Spirit and the world interpret differently. The world perceives it as a statement of the, in quotes, fact that your salvation sacrifices his. The world perceives it as a statement of the fact that your salvation sacrifices his. The Holy Spirit knows your healing is the witness unto his, and cannot be apart from his at all. As long as he consents to suffer, you will be unhealed. Yet you can show him that his suffering is purposeless and wholly without a cause. Show him your healing, and he will consent no more to suffer. For his innocence has been established in your sight and his, and laughter will replace your sighs, because God's Son remembered that he is God's Son. I love that. Show him your healing, and he will consent no more to suffer. For his innocence has been established in your sight and his. See his innocence. And laughter will replace your sighs, because God's Son remembered that he is God's Son. There's where our laughter comes from, isn't it? Our remembering that we are God's Son. Our sighs will be, how does he say it? And laughter will replace your sighs, because God's Son remembered that he is God's Son. And you're going to see yourself in your brothers and sisters and realize that you are God's Son, and you're able to see it and even escape from death as you realize your and everyone's innocence. All right, let's go beyond the old thoughts that we were guilty. and realize that we are as God created us, perfect, innocent, holy. All right, let's go take a look now at our associated reading with today's lesson. God's healing voice protects all things today. And that associated reading is, what is the Christ? But before we read that, let me tell you about one more blackberry out of the ediblelandscaping.com. And I bought all their raspberries and all their blackberries. So I'm going to get them all started and be able to try them all out and see which ones do best in my country, which ones I like the best. Maybe I'll like them all. Be able to propagate them and share them with my friends. Okay, this is the last blackberry that they had that I've already told you about all the rest of them. And this one's called the Sweetie Pie Thornless Blackberry. Rubus species X, which means it's a cross of several species. A new thornless blackberry cultivar called Sweetie Pie was released that is this cultivar called Sweetie Pie was released that is resistant to disease and tastes delicious. Sweetie Pie grows vigorous and produces numerous floricanes, which are thornless and have a trailing growth habit. Its berries are medium size, glossy black, and have excellent flavor. Sweetie Pie ripens mid-late season, mid-June to late July in South Mississippi, and is an excellent choice for a southern variety. Sweetie Pie grows well in raised beds amended with organic matter, spaced 5 foot apart in 5 foot wide beds, zones 6 through 8. So evidently this is one that grows really well for you southern folks, but it sounds like it'll grow here in zone 6 too. All right, 6, 7, and 8. That's the Sweetie Pie. What is the Christ? Under God's healing voice protects all things today. What is the Christ? Christ is God's Son as He created Him. He is the self we share, uniting us with one another and with God as well. He is the thought which still abides within the mind that is His source. He has not left His holy home, nor lost the innocence in which He was created. He abides unchanged forever in the mind of God. Christ is the link that keeps you one with God and guarantees that separation is no more than an illusion of despair. For hope forever will abide in Him. Your mind is part of His and His of yours. He is the part in which God's answer lies, where all decisions are already made and dreams are over. He remains untouched by anything the body's eyes perceive. For though in Him His Father placed the means for your salvation, yet does He remain the self, who like His Father knows no sin. Home of the Holy Spirit and at home in God alone, does Christ remain at peace within the heaven of your holy mind. This is the only part of you that has reality and truth. The rest is dreams. Yet will these dreams be given unto Christ, to fade before His glory, and reveal your holy self, the Christ, to you at last. The Holy Spirit reaches from the Christ in you to all your dreams, and bids them come to Him to be translated into truth. He will exchange them for the final dream, which God appointed as the end of dreams. The final dream, which God appointed as the end of dreams? Forgiveness. For when forgiveness rests upon the world, and peace has come to every son of God, what could remain to keep things separate? For what remains to see except Christ's face? And how long will this holy face be seen, when it is but the symbol that the time for learning now is over, and the goal of the atonement has been reached at last? So therefore let us seek to find Christ's face, and look on nothing else. As we behold his glory, will we know we have no need of learning or perception or of time, or anything except the Holy Self, the Christ, whom God created as his Son. Oh, I just love this when he says in paragraph 4, the Holy Spirit reaches from the Christ in you to all your dreams and bids them come to him to be translated into truth. For when he will exchange them for the final dream which God appointed as the end of dreams. For when forgiveness rests upon the world, I wanted to read that sentence, didn't I? For when forgiveness rests upon the world, and peace has come to every son of God, what could remain to keep things separate? For what remains to see except Christ's face? So let's hasten the day when forgiveness rests on all things. For when forgiveness rests upon the world and peace has come to every son of God, what could remain to keep things separate? For what remains to see except Christ's face? You're going to see Christ's face when you allow forgiveness to rest on everything that you see. Forgiveness. I first conceived the word forgiveness to mean to give up what comes before you. Forgive. And I learned that when I first started studying A Course in Miracles, right way back. It was almost like it was a revelation given to me that forgiveness, what's that word mean? Well, give up what comes before you. That's what it means. Let go and let God. All right, let's go take a look now at our lesson 275 once again. And thank you all so much for joining me on this study. I hope that you're finding your morning and evening extended period of quiet, wordless entering into God's presence useful, helpful, empowering. And be sure to do your hourly remembrances. Today being God's healing voice protects all things today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let us today attend the voice of God, which speaks an ancient lesson no more true today than any other day. Yet has this day been chosen as the time when we will seek and hear and learn and understand. Join me in hearing, for the voice of God tells us of things we cannot understand alone, nor learn apart. It is in this that all things are protected, and in this the healing of the voice of God is found. God's healing voice protects all things today. And the prayer says, your healing voice protects all things today. And so I leave all things to you. I need be anxious over nothing. I need be anxious over nothing, because I can allow forgiveness to rest on all things. For your voice will tell me what to do and where to go, to whom to speak and what to say to him, what thoughts to think, what words to give the world. The safety that I bring is given me. Father, your voice protects all things through me. God's voice protects all things today. God's voice protects all things today.